It's a good day for a good day. Hello, everybody. My name's Cece Ray. Thanks for joining me here at Break the Dish, where we break the news and dish out the tea. We are recapping The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, Season 1, Episode 7. I mean, Episode 7 already. It's just flying by, isn't it? I mean, well, then again, the weekend flew by too. How was your weekend, breakers? Did you have a good Mother's Day weekend? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I had a good weekend. Well, actually, I had a fabulous weekend because my one child came home from college, which I love. One down, one to go. But, however, can we just talk about the weather a second? Like, I don't know how it is where you live. It was 85 yesterday. I think it's like 40 today. Mother Nature, done with the joke. Like, can we just bring summer on? Like, seriously. But before we get into our Rhode Island ladies, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish. We are recapping The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, Season 1, Episode 7. Remember, they are having like a little mini vacation, which is like 30 minutes from where they all live. They're at the Seaview Terrace, which is this huge mansion in Rhode Island. And we are picking it up the next morning at breakfast. Now, remember, the night before, Rosie and Kelsey got into it a little bit. Surprise, surprise, right? So the ladies are at breakfast, and Alicia makes the comment to Ashley, God, did you hear Rosie? Like, she was up all night throwing up. And Rosie's like, yeah, I couldn't stop throwing up. And Ashley says, I didn't hear her throwing up. I was too concerned with like the ghosts taking her away. And then Rosie says, I did hear giggling in the middle of the night. And then Alicia says, do you think it was the dolls? These dolls, I don't know what it is, but these dolls, they have a life of their own, literally. I'm just saying. So now all the ladies have made their way down to breakfast, and, Kelsey's asking, like, what's the plan for the day? So they are having this huge, like one of those big inflatables, This is like a huge inflatable water slide put outside this mansion. And then later on, they're going to go on a boat ride. Okay. So Liz is saying to Rosie, I can tell something's wrong. Like, I can really tell something's wrong. And Kelsey says, Rosie, I really did mean that as a compliment last night, And Rosie says, yeah, that was kind of like a backhanded compliment. And Ashley says, well, if you want to talk about that, let's talk about what happened later on. When you came into our bedroom, she says, and you start accusing Rosie of lying. She's like, and then when she clarifies everything to you, it's still not good enough. And, then all of a sudden, like out of the blue, like Ashley's like, Rosie needs nurturing. Like she starts bawling her eyes out. I I'm kind of wondering, is there a day that goes by that Ashley doesn't cry? I mean, like, talk about emotional. Like, it was so funny too, because if you notice Jo Ellen's facial expression when she starts bawling, she's kind of like, and I have to say, I think I gave the same facial expression when I was watching it on the television. I was like, is she crying again? But then Liz is like, look, when something's wrong with me, I can't hide it. So you're not doing a very good job, basically, of hiding it. Then I think it's Alicia, Kelsey, and I just had a brain fart. Alicia, Kelsey are up in the bedroom with Jo Ellen, and Alicia's basically saying, like, seriously though, like, I think Rosie's struggling. And so they kind of talk, Jo Ellen and Alicia talk Kelsey into, could you please just like smooth things over with this chick? So Kelsey goes into the bedroom and she's like, look, I don't want to have things uncomfortable between you and I. I know my delivery can be harsh. Rosie says, yeah, and I can, when it's like that, then I can be offstandish. And Kelsey says, look, I really do want to move forward and try to be friends. And Rosie agrees. And Kelsey, in her confessional, she says, look, I'm starting my life over, and look, I have RBF. In case you don't know what that is, resting bitch face. I can totally sympathize with this because I've been told that half my life. Us who suffer with RBF totally understand this. Like, you don't mean to look like it, but you do. It really is involuntary. But she also says, like, I don't want to worry about Rosie anymore, So Jo Ellen and Alicia decide to get out of the castle for a while the other ladies are sliding down this water slide. And they get into the car, and while they're driving, their driver starts telling them how he used to live in the castle when he was in college. He lived all the way at the top floor, and he had paranormal experiences all the time. He says, matter of fact, we were told that a nun had hung herself, and, Alicia, God love her, she's like, I'm not scared of spirits. I'm more scared of the mice and the rats. I can totally sympathize. Like, I'd rather see a ghost right in front of me than have to deal with mice, rats, or bugs. I mean, point blank. That's exactly how I am. So these two have a really heart-to-heart talk as they're walking. And, Jo Ellen is talking about her mom. And remember, Alicia knew Jo Ellen and her sister Jen when they were in high school. Well, I think even younger than that, actually. And Alicia was saying how, she always had this impression of her mom being very jovial and happy. And Jo Ellen's like, yeah, that's what she portrayed, And she starts talking about how her mom had her sent away 3 times. The first time, she sent her to like a drug rehab place. They sent her back within a week because they realized this chick does not have a drug problem. Then she was sent away for 2 months. But the third place was the worst. She was there for over a year. She said, a lot of the kids were cutting themselves, trying to commit suicide. There were male and female predators there. And she said that they locked you up, and the state wanted to take full custody of her, and her mom wasn't willing to relinquish full custody. So magically, Jo Ellen was better, and she came back home. And her sister actually was sent away first. And Alicia is saying how she remembers this when they were in school, how they left and came back, and nobody really asked any questions, And of course, they were young, but she remembers it. And then she starts talking about her father leaving her and her mom, and what a bearing that has had. That's probably why she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't have anybody to walk her down the aisle. And, sometimes she feels like she should leave before the guy leaves her, basically. And so these two are really trauma bonding, basically. And even in Joellen's confessional, she says, I've always known Alicia, but I feel like we have a new understanding for each other. And that's kind of made us a little bit closer. Then they get back into the car, and there's a message from Ruella for Alicia. And Ruella says that she's not going to make it to the castle. She's been really, really sick, and she was in the hospital. And then we see Ruella at her house, and Brian's making her a cup of tea, and she's explaining how, she had this pain in her head, and she could barely stand up, and she couldn't look at the light, and which the more she's describing it, it really does sound just like a migraine, to be honest. But she's like, I could die. Well, I mean, I could have. Like, okay, let's not try to get dramatic here. So he's making her a cup of tea and, basically kissing butt. That's basically what he's doing there. And then, so they get back to the castle. Now everybody's getting ready to go on this sunset cruise, as Liz describes it. And it's kind of interesting because they're going on a catamaran. So they have to take the tender to the catamaran. Okay. And as soon as they take the tender over to the catamaran, Ashley finds out that they're taking her son Dawson to the emergency room. Now, she explains that her father actually is a doctor. So if her dad is saying take him to the emergency room, then this is a big deal. So as soon as she gets to the catamaran, she's got to turn around and go back. And of course, there she goes crying again. Except this time that's a good excuse. It's not about Rosie needing to be nurtured. So all the ladies are on this cruise, and they have this huge charcuterie. Look, I'm the first one to say I love a good charcuterie. But the funny thing is Alicia, because she's like, can somebody give me those crackers? You know how I love a good cracker? She's so funny. So then they get back from the boat, and everybody wants to get into the pajamas and relax. And Liz goes up to Joellen. She said, "What's wrong?" Joellen says, the other day at Polo, I told Ruella that I would get proof, and I got it. So she's showing Liz her phone, and all you see is Liz go, "Oh my God." So now these two now come downstairs to the other ladies, and Alicia goes, "God, you look like you saw a ghost there, Joellen." And they're just sitting there, her and Liz. And Liz says, well, it's out there. And Kelsey's like, "Are we talking about Ruella?" And she's like, "Yeah." And Joellen's looking at Liz, and Liz is looking at Joellen, and all the other ladies are like, what? And in this scene, you really see the immaturity of Alicia and how it kind of gets on Liz's nerves, because, Liz turns around and says, "Let the hounds out, just let them out." And Alicia's like, "What does hounds mean?" And Liz is like, she gives this look and like kind of rolls her eyes like. So Joellen sits on the couch so that all the ladies can see this video that she has. And I mean, Rosie is like, oh, this is bad. And Rosie's explaining that what they're looking at. So apparently the video is being taken from like through a glass door. And, all you see is Brian consoling this like blonde haired woman with his hands on her ass. And they're basically hugging and making out for 5 minutes, and so while everyone's looking at this video, Alicia goes, look at the bunny rabbit. And Liz right away is like, don't worry about the bunny rabbit. Like, we're going to have to tell her. But see what I mean? Like, you can see that Liz loves Alicia, but it's that immaturity that I think gets Liz sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And so they're like, we're going to have to tell her. I mean, it's in front of us. Like, we're going to have to tell her. And then literally the episode ends with each woman in their confessional saying, not it, not it, not it. And that is the whole episode. If you were going to rate the episode, what would you rate it? I mean, it did have its punches here and there. And we do find out that Joellen did get proof about the affair. But it wasn't anything like over the top. I would say a good solid 7. What do you guys think? A 7. Yeah, a good solid 7. But listen, they've set that bar high. I mean, every episode, they're talking about each other, spilling each other's secrets. I mean, even on the boat, Kelsey says to Joellen, didn't you have sex with my ex on a boat? I mean, like, they just spill everything. But it's a good 7, Now, next week probably is going to be good. You got to have one that's down, right? Like a filler episode, where nothing major happens. I mean, granted, they have the proof, but now is it going to come out next episode? We do see Alicia and her husband at dinner with Ruella and Brian, so we'll see, right? But it should be interesting. So what do you think? Are you enjoying Real Housewives of Rhode Island? I am. Listen, they're giving Salt Lake City a run for their money. They're really going to give New Jersey a run for their money. I do have to say, though, the whole doll thing with Alicia, I'm not getting it. I mean, she's this beautiful woman, sense of humor, can be a spitfire, as we've seen, right? But yet the whole doll thing, I mean, it's not just about collecting dolls, it's, brushing their hair, playing with them, talking to them, thinking they were talking back to you. I don't know. It's a little weird, right? Or is it just me? I mean, I've heard people say, oh, it's so endearing. Yeah, I'm not finding it too endearing. I mean, she's a grown-ass woman playing with dolls. It's that simple. What do you guys think? Is it me? Or do you find it a little weird? But let's keep that conversation going with the comments down below. And before you do, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish.